Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Anna, and Aunt is all the way over there.
What's up, hey fam?
Today is going to be juicy. We're gonna give you all the tea, so stay tuned in.
Yeah, you guys just gotta give me 1 second. He's back, guys.
Wow. So yeah, Aunt is currently playing right now, and babe, you need to stop playing. Why?
Just give me 1 second.
Wow. Before getting to this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't joined the fam, and if you're new, welcome.
Wait, let's give him 1 second. Let's give him a second.
Okay, we'll give him 1 second. Make sure you like this video
And do not forget to hit that bell, turn on your post notifications for
to
your
get
chance
notified every
at a
time we
notification shout out
freaking post.
from us
Yes.
at the end of our next video.
So I pulled out some of my favorite snacks from the pantry because we're about to give you a little story time. Alright guys, so moment of truth. Don't really like talking about this topic, but you guys asked for it. So my parents don't approve of our relationship back in 2012 through 2014. Okay guys, so you guys asked for this video. We did Truth or Drink, and one of the questions was like,
What was the biggest secret you kept from your parents?
oh, what was the biggest secret I kept from my parents?
No.
And I said that the biggest secret I kept was dating.
This guy.
Yeah, it was a big secret, and a lot of you guys wanted to know why, or like the story behind why I had to hide our relationship. So
we're just gonna dive right into
we're
it.
gonna dive right into this.
Why did your parents not approve of our relationship?
We have to start in the very beginning.
Okay.
So, as many of you guys know, I'm not from United States.
Whoa, we going back that far? Okay.
I'm an
Oh my
alien. That's actually what they do call us though. Wow. They do call us aliens. It's kind of messed up. But anyway, I was born in Colombia. I'm fully Colombian. Colombia is in South America.
Whoa.
If y'all didn't know.
Baby, you going too deep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
You going
just like to
deep,
give
boy.
like details. I was born in Colombia. My parents
Are Colombian.
are Colombian. And I came here to this country when I was very, very young. I have to explain to them everything because you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. You got it.
But in Colombia, for a lot of you guys, if you don't know, and for those who do know, it's beautiful. I love my country. Like, it's gorgeous. I love Colombia. But it is a country where you have to be very careful because there's a lot of
Finessing.
it's just not the US. Like,
It's
you
not
know,
safe.
you have
Like,
to,
really,
yeah,
it's
it's
not
not safe.
Some parts aren't safe, right?
Some
'Cause
parts
I'm
aren't
pretty sure there
safe,
are
and
parts
you
in
have to
Colombia.
just be very cautious with your surroundings because over there they will literally kill you for a phone.
Like where you're from,
literally.
in Cali, that's one of the roughest spots. That's what I hear from
Yeah, so I was born in Cali. My mom was from Cali. My dad is from Pereira. So Pereira not too bad, but it's still, you know, you still have to watch out. So you grow up, like your parents are always telling you, like, be careful. Like, especially if you're a little girl, it's like they don't want you going out because they're afraid that you might get kidnapped. They kidnap little girls all the time, which is really, really sad and heartbreaking. So, you know, not only that, but they also rob, kill. You know, the violence, the crime rate, all that, it's much higher than here. Coming from a country like that, obviously my parents, they're very overprotective, very old school. They moved down here to the United States. They still had that mentality. Like, you can't go outside. Like, no, you're a girl. Like, you can't leave the house. If you're gonna go somewhere, you have to go with me. If you're foreign, or like, you know, your parents are from another country, you probably can relate to this. So yeah, they were very, very strict parents. I can't blame my parents because obviously they saw a lot in Colombia. My mom grew up in like the worst parts, so she saw a lot of bad things, and my dad saw bad things too. So for them to come over here, it's like they want to protect their little girl, you know, like, no, nobody's gonna touch her, nobody's gonna harm her. And obviously I started high school, and they knew I kind of had a thing with somebody. They weren't too sure who Anthony was. Like, they just knew like something was up, but they didn't know who Ant was.
So why didn't they like you?
Okay.
I think that's what we all want to know.
Okay, so yeah,
Why
so
did they
it's
not?
building up, baby. It's building up. Another big thing too is that I'm Christian, and my parents are really big on that too. They're very spiritual, so they believe like no nasty before marriage.
For sure.
You know, you gotta wait and hold yourself until marriage. So anyways, I kind of make some comments like, I like Ant, blah, blah, like not Ant itself, but I'll be like, I like this guy, whatever.
Let me get this straight. So you were born and raised in Colombia, so that
Till I was 4.
Till you was 4, and then you came over here to America, and then that is why your parents have this preconceived notion on how they should treat you and raise you inside outside your house, right? Okay, so with that being understood, once you got to high school, you started dating a boy, which was me, but you didn't tell your parents when you started dating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't tell them we started dating, which you should have told them we were dating.
Yeah, but I kind of made a little comments here and there.
So let's move on to the next part. Why do they not like me? When did you tell them that you were going out with me?
This is where my whole life just changed like drastically, and I had to make it a big secret. One day, me and you took a picture. He was standing and I was standing right in front of him, and we were hugging. But we were hugged and it was very like tight. So we were holding really tight, and he was tagged on the photo and I was tagged on the photo. Mind you, I didn't put this picture up. It was on Facebook. It was our friend from high school, and my dad saw the picture. He was like on Facebook, whatever, and I guess he saw this picture of us hugging. So since it was us hugging, like, he tapped on your profile. Yeah, so he kind of did the stop. He investigated. He was
48
like,
hours, okay.
He was like pretty mad, and he was like, what's going on? Who's this guy? Mind you, at this time, I was 15. Anthony was 14. So he saw Anthony's photo, and he kind of was like, what the hell?
Bruh.
And he went on his page. Anthony got tatted up when he was very young. It was a homemade tattoo, actually.
It wasn't a homemade tattoo. It was done at my house, but it wasn't a homemade tattoo. When you say homemade tattoo, it's like one of them little things you get on, you wet it.
But was it, okay.
My first tattoo was right here on my arm. It's my mom's name, Diana, and I got it when I was 13. So, and it was inside my house.
I would never allow my child personally to get a tattoo when they're 13, but you know, you can see cultures. You see, like, I'm Colombian. We will never allow that in our
Some
culture.
Colombians be catching bodies, but not they 13.
Yeah. But, so he got a tattoo at a very young age, and he had his chest tatted too at the time. So he had a picture on Facebook with no shirt on. And it was like after school, he was like with the group, and his pants were sagging a little bit, which is understandable. Like, you know, it's not like he was trying to flex or like be like this.
I look like a hoodlum, guys.
He had his pants a little sagging. He had a tattoo, and then he was smiling, and he had golds in his teeth.
For the culture.
So of course, my dad sees him, and he's like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Like,
hey, but listen though. Real talk. Never judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
It could be an ugly looking book, but you open that cover page and it's very interesting. It's very nice and calm. Just like me, I'm not saying I'm ugly, but like,
no. Oh.
Never mind. Just never judge a book by its cover.
So anyways, that day at the dinner table, he like sat me down.
Y'all were eating dinner?
Yeah, he sat me down. He's like, who's this? My mom was there. Obviously, my mom knew. And I was like, that's Anthony. Like, you know you're dating that guy. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Wow, you denied me, bro?
I lied. I was scared because I could see the look in their face. I can see the look in their face. Like what the...
How'd your dad look? What was his face like?
I can't, like...
Do it.
Jesus. Who's this guy? Well, I can't do it. But anyways, they were very upset. They're like, why are you with this guy? This guy's like from the street or like whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, he's a really good guy. But the pictures you had made it seem like that. You know, his friends and stuff, like the way they were posing and all that, it kind of looked like they were just doing things they weren't allowed to, like, you know what they were just doing inappropriate things, which they weren't, but it just had that image, you know, especially for like my parents. And like Aunt said, judge the book by its cover real quick. Asked me, is he Christian? Does he go to church? And I'm like, no. Like, I didn't lie. I was like, no, like, he believes in God.
No, but listen, I always had a good relationship. I won't say good relationship because everybody is not just born with the perfect relationship. And even to this day, we still work towards bettering our relationship with God. But I've always had somewhat of a relationship with God. You know, I've always felt God walk with me throughout my whole life. And you know, I've been to church before. I've met Anna and stuff like that. So it's not like, oh, I met Anna and she put God into my life. Like I've always had somewhat of an experience with God. But continue.
Exactly. They gave me this long talk. They're like, you have to be very careful. Blah blah. You're too young to be dating guys. Why are you all on this guy? And do you see how he looks? Like, what if he's like doing, like, he's probably cheating on you or just with other girls? He probably just wants that and is gonna leave you. And I'm just like, bro, like, you know, like they're just going on. They're going on and on. You know, a picture can say 1,000 words, guys. And like the picture that me and him,
I understand that.
We were together. We were very, very close. And he was like hugging me. His hand was a little low. You know what I'm saying? So it just, my dad was enraged. And he was like, I'll never forget. He was like, if I see you with that guy, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences. And I'm just like, oh my God. I didn't know what that meant, y'all.
Kick you out the street?
I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if that meant that he was gonna beat my I didn't know if that meant he was gonna switch schools. I was just freaked the hell out. My mom was like, you know better. How dare you? You know, you can't date at this age. And when you do date, you have to find a guy that loves God and goes to church and all this. Mind you, my parents, like I said, they're Christian. So of course, they want their daughter.
They want what's best for you.
Exactly, they want what's best for me. They want their daughter to eventually go out and get married and all this to a godly man, somebody that loves Jesus and blah blah. And Anthony at the time with the pictures and all this didn't portray that. He portrayed like just something way different in their eyes. Obviously not in my eyes, but in their eyes it was like this guy's going down the wrong path. So they thought that I was gonna get harmed or something, especially them being so overprotective. So with those words, I was very scared. I was like, wow, I can't let them know that I'm dating him because I'm gonna have to deal with the consequences.
So I remember that night you called me, right? Anna called me and she was crying on the phone. I was like, what's wrong, babe?
Oh, so you do remember.
Of course I remember. I was just letting you tell your story because, you know, you had the experience of your dad and your mom actually telling you, like, to stop talking to me.
Yep.
So it's better if you explain it. But you called me that night and she started crying. She was like, babe, I can't go out with you anymore. We can't be together.
I was not
and I was like, why? What's wrong? And she was like, my parents told me I can't go out with you anymore. And I was like, babe, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. If you really don't want to go out with me anymore, like, you know, I completely understand. But if you want to work things out, you know, we want to kind of like not.
And it was always very understanding.
Like, if we can figure out a way to make this work, let's do it. And you know, we obviously we made it work. So
yeah, it was so heartbreaking. And the crazy thing is, because my parents were so strict, you know how Monday through Friday you go to school and on the weekends you hang out with your friends, you go see your boyfriend, girls sleep over their boyfriend's house.
Well, I don't think, listen,
that didn't exist for me.
I'm like really chill. But if my daughter's 15, I'm not gonna let her spend the night at her boyfriend's house.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm just saying, like that's like the norm. That's like the normal over here, you know, like oh, it's normal. So with me, it was completely opposite. I couldn't leave the house on the weekends. I would leave with obviously with my mom and stuff like that, my dad, but I couldn't like not leave without them. There was like a whole 2 years we did not hang out over the weekends. Never hung out over the weekends. It was only Monday through Friday at school. I used to look forward to Mondays so bad. You know how now it's just like Monday's like Monday, and then Friday's like for me it was the opposite. It was literally like it's Monday, I'm gonna
because we got to see each other,
and then Friday would be like I'm gonna miss you so much.
I know, I remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like that's how we lived literally for 2 years. It was very low-key. I used to like not really want to post any pictures with him anymore because it was just like very, very low-key. That was the first year. The second year I kind of started like okay, I don't care anymore. And I used to stay after school to practice, or I don't know what I would say. I have to study. But I would really be with him. And I know my parents caught on after a while. I was literally getting out the school, y'all, and my dad was walking in. He's like, where have you been this whole time? And I'm like, studying. Like I kind of try to make him feel like dumb, like what are you talking about? I'm just studying. But I knew he knew. He was like, no, you're here with Anthony. Where's Anthony? And I'm like, he's nowhere. Eventually he saw another picture, because again I kind of started like not really caring. I'm just like, I can't live like this forever. Like I love him, and I kind of try to
you love me at that point?
Yeah, I did. And
You love me?
After like a year, of course, after a few months, I started loving you. Like I loved you. And we took another picture, and this time it wasn't on Facebook because I was very cautious. I'm like, all right, nothing can go on Facebook. Everything has to either go on Instagram or like something else. My parents had no idea what Instagram was. So I'm like, okay, I'm safe with Instagram. So me and him would post a lot of pictures on my Instagram. My Instagram was never public. It was always private because I didn't want nobody to see that weren't my friends. One night, I'm just going through my Instagram, blah, blah, and I fall asleep.
No! And you left your Instagram open?
And my phone had no lock. It was on my Instagram. My mom sometimes, like when we, like, cause I had problems with that too, like staying up till like 1 or 2 in the morning because I was on my phone. So she would sometimes would come in and say, like, stop using your phone, blah, 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 go to sleep. You got school tomorrow. And I guess that night she came in to tell me to go to sleep because she probably saw the light. Mind too, I was sleeping, but my phone was like right here and the light was like on. So she came and she saw my phone was on and she grabbed my phone and the picture was right there. I guess I was looking at our photos and like, oh my gosh, I love him, blah, blah, blah. And they saw our picture and it was like freaking,
okay, so they
all hell broke loose after that.
Okay, so they seen your Instagram because you left it open and they had, so did you have a bunch of pictures of us on your Instagram?
It was a few.
Oh man. So they seen all the pictures on your Instagram. And then what does your mom do? Did she tell you?
Bro, my parents went crazy. Like the next day.
Did they wait for you to wake up or they woke you up out of this?
No, the next day, like it was like all hell broke loose. Like my mom was screaming, crying. She's like, you're still with this guy.
She was crying?
Yeah, because they would, every time they would ask me, like, are you with like, are you dating this? Are you still seeing him? I would always deny it. Okay, I would always deny it. And I'd be like, no, 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 no. Which I should have been honest, but I was like, no, because I was too afraid. The first picture when my dad saw it on Facebook, it was like a few months past. I think it was almost close to a year.
Did you have any pictures of us kissing?
It was, yeah, you were kissing me right here.
Oh, no.
And it was like after school and stuff, so you could tell.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, I know, guys, I know. I was like not.
Oh, that hurts me.
You know how Hispanic mothers are crazy. You know, she started crying, screaming. She didn't hit me, but she was like, well, my dad didn't talk to me for like a week. He didn't beat me up or nothing, but he was very disappointed. He didn't talk to me. He's like, what has gone into you? Like you're going down the wrong path, blah, 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 all this. And I'm just like, I was very upset. Like they didn't physically beat me up, but I felt like they beat me up because of like emotionally. So it was just so hard. I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, like, but I love him. Like, what am I gonna do? And I remember, y'all, I remember saying this prayer at night and I kind of want to cry because, oh my God, now looking back at it, it's like, so it just makes me feel so emotional and I think I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna try not to cry. So one night it was so hard because I knew my parents didn't want us to be together because they thought that Anthony was this bad guy that, you know, was trying to just come and like haunt me and down or something, take me away from them. And I was being rebellious. I was skipping school. I was doing this. So if you combine all that together, it's like, it looks like it was all his fault, but it wasn't, you know? So anyways, one night I was like so sad and I was like, man, I really love this guy. But I did a prayer. I was like, God, if he's not the right guy for me, like remove him from my life. You know, I'm like, I know it hurts. And I was like telling God, I'm like, he's a good person. Like he's amazing. Like he treats me so good. He's an A student. Yeah, fun fact, y'all, if y'all didn't know that, Ant back in high school was the A student. He was such a good student. And, you know, it's just like, yeah, he had this look, like he looked big, like he liked to wear those big block earrings and he had golds and he had a tattoo. He was very, very smart, was never disrespectful. So I was just so confused. I'm like, man, I know he has a look to him, but he's really not like that. You know, he's amazing guy and he has never done anything to disrespect me. So but I still made that prayer at night. I'm like, Lord, if Anthony's not the one for me, please remove him from my life. And you know, it's gonna hurt, but give me the strength to move on. I knew deep down that he was the right guy for me because I loved him so much and I never felt nothing like what I felt around him. So long story short, my parents my dad gave me like the silent treatment. My mom was like going crazy. They threatened me that, you know, I would have to move schools if I didn't stop, whatever. So I went back to just hiding our relationship. I deleted all the pictures from Instagram. I deleted everything from everywhere. And I just felt like they were always watching me, so it was very hard. I do believe, y'all, that having strict parents to an extent is a good thing, because I love my parents and I am what I am because of God, but also the way my parents raised me. They gave me values, morals, and I'll forever love them for that. But sometimes really strict parents can create sneaky kids, unfortunately. So I thought I was like super sneaky and I would do things I wasn't allowed to do, because when I saw the opportunity, it was like, I'm doing this because I'm not allowed and I don't care and I want to do it. Anyways, I kept it a secret. They would always talk about it, and like my mom would even say, I'm praying so God can send him far away. And I'm just like,
yeah, they prayed against me.
Not against you, not
did.
like, not,
no, but they
yeah, but pretty much
they prayed
like,
that they prayed for me to go away.
They pretty much did. Like they were like, take him away. Yeah, God had different plans. Look at that. So okay, fast forward, I would have to be very cautious and very careful. They thought Anthony was some kind of monster just because of the way he looked. And I know it's like sounds stupid, but it was also like, again, a lot of factors. The fact that, you know, they're so overprotective, and the fact that I was skipping and they found out and all this, it was just like really bad.
So the main reason, well, I mean, the only reason that I really heard of why your parents didn't like me was because of my parents.
It was your parents, but it was also because I was doing things that I wasn't allowed to be doing. Like I was being rebellious.
And they thought that I was the reason.
Like you were influencing me. They thought that I was getting influenced by Anthony to doing bad.
Okay, so
but I wasn't.
Okay, so because I just want so that way they understand too why they didn't like me. Well, they didn't approve of me. It's better to say. So not because they didn't like me, but because
no, they didn't like you.
Okay, I guess. So that is.
Oh yeah, didn't approve. That's a better word.
Okay. And their reasoning was because of my parents, and they thought I was a negative influence on me.
Exactly. So think about it this way, y'all. You have a kid.
No, we get it.
No, but I want to put it into pictures. You have a kid, okay, and they have a friendship with some guy or girl, I don't know, and the guy and girl like sells drugs and is gang related and robs people and makes you come with them and tells you what to do. You're gonna be like, that's not a good friend, like get away from them, like they're not a good influence in your life. So it was kind of the same. Obviously they didn't see Anthony doing all that, but they just thought in their head that he was doing all this stuff just based off what he looked, of his friends. It was just a lot of confusion and stuff. But anyways, there was a few times they took my phone away. But
I remember those days. That brings back memories.
Yeah,
like there would be some times where Anna wouldn't have her phone and I wouldn't be able to talk to her for days. Because it
was like, you know, I did something or whatever. Yeah, my parents were just very strict, y'all. But I love them. They're
awesome people. Like, yeah, don't get us wrong. Like, they're really awesome people. They're really loving, sweet people.
Okay, so wait. I was very sad because in high school for prom, I didn't end up going to prom because at that time my parents didn't approve of Anthony. So who was I gonna go to prom with? Like nobody. So I wasn't able to go to prom, and it was just really sad. So prom was like 1 month before like school ended. The last day of school, y'all, that I had in my senior year, it was so sad. I was like stuck. I would only see Ant at school. I didn't see him out of school. Like school.
How old were you at that time?
I was
like 17.
I was 17 because I graduated a little early. Yeah. I was 17 and I was like, what am I gonna do now? I literally only knew school and Anthony. You know, I never saw Anthony out of school. So I'm like, oh my gosh, does this mean, you know, we have to end our relationship? We went to a football field, y'all. Like, you know, our football field in high school. And we were sitting in the bleachers. It was the last day of school. And I remember like he was sitting here. Nobody was there. Nobody was around. It was just us two. And he was like holding me like this. And it was the whole football field. And we were just like looking into the football field. I was heartbroken because I'm like, wow, I'm never probably going to see this guy ever again.
I can't remember exactly how the wording went down. But at that point, I guess I was like kind of fed up about the whole situation. So I was like, maybe this might not work out, you know? Maybe this isn't meant to be. But, you know, we sat there, we talked about it, and we were like, you know what? No matter what, I love you, you love me, and we're gonna figure this thing out.
Oh my God, I know. Finally, one day, there was this thing in my house. It was like a youth service in my house. And it was just a bunch of like young people from our church just gathering, reading the Bible and just fellowship. So when I found out, I kind of got really mad. I was like, wow, like they're having a youth night at my house, but I can't bring my boyfriend. Like that's unacceptable. You know, I was just like so fed up with everything. I was like, you know what? They don't even know him. They haven't even gave him a chance. This is not right.
Fight for your man.
Yeah, I was like, he's an amazing person and they're not gonna just sit up here and keep trying him like he's not. I sat down with my mom like a few days before the youth night and I was like, listen, I really want Anthony to come, and you as a Christian and believe in God, God says not to judge people, so who are you to judge?
Facts.
And she was like, what? And like I knew she was like kind of like, okay, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, I know I'm right. And I'm like, listen, I want to bring Anthony to this youth night because if all these young people are going to be in the house, he should be able to come too. Like he's no lesser than anybody else, you know? And my mom, she was like, yeah, well, if you want to bring him to youth night or to church, I'm completely fine with that. He deserves to come to my house. And if all these other guys and girls are allowed to come in my house, he's gonna come. I don't care if my mom and my dad don't like it, he's gonna come. Yeah, I stood up. Yeah, I was like pissed. I was over it. I was overwhelmed. I didn't tell them that, but I'm saying I told myself that. Anyways, my mom was like, I think that would be a good idea. She's like, I'm down for him to come on youth night, and not only youth night, but to church. You know, maybe that would be good for him. My dad wasn't really too happy, but again, he was just like, whatever, like let him come to youth night, but you're gonna be there, blah, blah. So my mom was there, but she was like upstairs. He ended up coming to the house on youth night. I was so freaking nervous. I had butterflies, y'all. I was like, I cannot believe he's sitting in my house with my mom and my dad knowing that he's in my house. This is insane. And my mom just greeted him just normal. Like it was like, I guess she didn't really pay much mind to it. I told her that night, I was like, Anthony's coming to church on Sunday. And she's like, okay, that's good.
So it's Sunday and I get to church, but I get there late and I don't get to go inside.
Yeah, his ride took him late.
And then...
But he came the following Sunday. So, started going to church. After a few times of my parents meeting Anthony and seeing him, they realized that the whole entire time they were wrong. And let me tell y'all, my mom, she is a very nice person, but she's nobody to mess with. And when she thinks she's right, she'll stand her ground and there's nobody turning her back. She will only apologize if she knows that...
If it's God.
Like it's God or like she was wrong. But other than that, she will stand her ground and was like, no, like that was wrong or whatever. I was so shocked, y'all, because one Sunday, she literally went to Anthony and she hugged him for like, how long?
I can't remember.
I can't even remember.
It was like 30 minutes.
Okay, I don't think it was that long. It was a long time, y'all. She literally just hugged him and started crying. And she's like, mind you, we were still very young. We weren't close to getting married or anything. We were only... I think I was 18 and you were 17. Yeah. We were still, like, we had no idea that... I had no idea he was going to be my husband. He had no idea I was going to be his wife. Yeah. But we were dating together and we really loved each other. But my mom literally went up to him, hugged him for so long.
It was honestly, it was like for like 5 minutes.
And she was like,
and she told me she's sorry that she judged me, that she prejudged me. That really meant a lot to me.
Yeah. And same thing with my dad. My dad didn't cry, of course, but he's
solid.
He went up to him and was like, I'm sorry for judging you. Ever since that day, it's been a wrap, guys. Yep. And started visiting me. I was allowed to go out with him. I was allowed to go over to his house. More of the story, my parents absolutely love Anthony, and my dad had 3 girls, and they always say that Anthony is like the son they never had. Was it shocking for you to for my mom to apologize? Like how did you feel? I
mean, it wasn't so much shocking as it was like me being nervous for her to actually do that, you know. So I was kind of like nervous, but you know, God has a plan for everything.
And he's my husband now.
Yeah, so-
and my parents love him so freaking much. Yeah,
So
my
it was-
parents love Anthony so much.
So it was truly meant to be.
And more of the story, we proved my parents wrong. I still love my parents, but we proved them wrong.
I love them too.
God was
Everybody's
with
wrong.
us.
Everybody's wrong every now and then.
And-
Before we leave, you guys, for all the girls out there that are dating somebody right now, and their parents don't necessarily approve of their boyfriends, but their boyfriends are generally good people, what would you tell them to do? Like, what advice would you give to them?
I would just tell them to be strong, stay positive, and remember that if it's meant to be, it will always find its place. Always. It will always find its way, no matter what.
So should that girl like rebel against her parents?
No,
Or
you guys should never rebel against your parents, because your parents only want to protect you. Don't blame them either. Like, at the time when my parents were doing all this, I was so mad, but now that I look back, it's like I knew they were just trying to protect me. So I'm not entirely mad at them. Like, that's what they had to do. But I'm glad that everything worked out the way it did, because they were proved wrong, and my mom will never judge a book by its cover ever again.
So ultimately, just stay strong.
Just stay strong, and just remember that if it's meant to be, it will find its way, and pray about it too. You know, I don't know if you know, but if you are a believer, pray about it. Leave it in God's hands. God, like
how you do.
you know, exactly the prayer I did. God, if he's not meant to be, remove him from my life. If he is meant to be, let him stay. So do the same prayer. God, if he's not meant to be, remove him. If he is meant to be, let everything fall into place. That's pretty much our story.
Yeah.
You know, my parents didn't approve, but now they freaking love him, and they keep on asking us when we're gonna have babies.
Oh my God, yeah, we're gonna have a baby. Oh my God.
My mom the more. Who's like crazy.
We have to wrap this video up because our camera is about to die and it is overheating. But if you guys like this story time, comment down below. Make sure to like this video. If you guys want to see more story times from us, let us know. But before we leave, you guys already know we got to do our notification shout out. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that.
So today's notification shout out goes to Alexander Gonzalez. Big shouts out to Alexander. We love you and we appreciate you so much for tuning into our channel.
I also want to shout out somebody too. Jess Willie. Shout out to you. Big shout out to Jess and to Alexander.
But not only to you guys, but to the whole AA fam. Thank you guys so much. We are at 172K right now. Again, we appreciate you guys.
At 200K, there's gonna be a giveaway.
It's gonna be something big. We're not sure exactly what it's gonna be yet.
PS5. I forgot to show you guys my nails real quick. Okay, that's not working out, but
If you
my
guys
nails...
want to see a picture of Anna's nails, you can see them on her Instagram at
okay. And go follow us on our couples page, Ant Times Anna, and on his personal, Anthony Jones.eggs. And without further ado, guys, we love y'all so freaking much. We've been on here for a minute already, but you know, we had to give you the juicy details and all that good stuff. Stay safe.
We love you guys.
Bye.